Portugal is a place where, for the most part, people are very non-confrontational. And what's more important here is being bem educado, which is Portuguese for just having good manners and being considerate. So after about a year or two, I started noticing that I felt the stress leaving my shoulders.
My lifestyle has changed immensely. So I feel happier, healthier, a lot less stressed.
Hi, welcome to our apartment in Lisbon, Portugal. My name is Alex Trias. This is my wife, Noki. We have a daughter named Evie, and we all live together in Lisbon, Portugal. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment that we bought back in 2015. So this building is over 400 years old. Originally, this was the St. Paul St. Mary's College. The building sat largely vacant for many, many years until it was reclaimed and got a new lease on life as a condominium. In the same way that this building got a new lease on life, I feel that the building gave us a new lease on life. We're an American family. We lived for many years in New York City, and before moving to Lisbon, we lived in Washington, D.C. for 10 years.
Alex and I are both retired. I worked as a registered nurse, and I made about $75,000 a year.
I worked as an attorney, and I earned $200,000 a year. We live in the heart of Bairro Alto. Today, the best way to describe Bairro Alto is, it reminds me a lot of Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
It's like a 5-minute walk to really any place that we would want to go to. Our daughter can walk all over the city and feel super safe. I'm gonna say our adventure here really began as a leap of faith. I had taken Evie off to go skiing, and Alex despises cold weather, really hates it. So he opted to stay back home in Washington, D.C. And then I got a call in the middle of the lift line, hey, do you know that it's like 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Lisbon right now? I was like, no.
That sounds pretty good.
I was like, you know, why don't you research that a little bit and get back to me on it?
So I did.
We were just really in love with Lisbon and thought, why not spend at least a couple of our retirement years here exploring it and learning about Portugal and learning about a new culture. We started looking at apartments, but we quickly realized that the idea of actually moving someplace and trying to understand building codes and acclimate and was just too much. So in the end, Alex sent me and Evie back home so she could go back to school.
I looked at about 10 different apartments.
But we also surfed the internet for probably a month.
Just walking around and seeing the space went a long way to convince me. As I was leaving the space, I saw a sign posted on a wall across from the door to the building that made an impression on me. The process of putting the offer together consisted of putting 10% down by a wire transfer to the owner's personal account. Our main moving expenses were extremely low since all we brought with us were 2 suitcases apiece and no furniture.
We decided because of that we would splurge for business class tickets because it allowed us each to have 2 giant checked in pieces of luggage.
And we spent about $15,000 to furnish the entire apartment.
15,000?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we did? Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Yeah, but that was for everything. Let's take you into the kitchen.
This is probably one of the most used parts of the house. When we first arrived, it was in pretty good shape, but we decided after 2 years to make a renovation so that the kitchen would be really customized to suit our needs. I was definitely worried that our refrigerator was going to be the size of a dorm room refrigerator. It wasn't. It was a full-size refrigerator, so that was the good news. The bad news is that our cats figured out how to open it. This one works by pushing on it. You push and the refrigerator opens. You also do the same thing with the freezer, and the push point is high enough that our cats can't open it. But I have to tell you, my very, very favorite part of the kitchen is this spice rack.
And this is where we spend most of our time. Most of it sitting at this table, eating or drinking coffee. But this is the main room in the apartment. For us, really, we tried to keep everything very minimalist and very sparse and open. Our side of the building faces a small walled-in plaza where we have olive trees, we have some cypress trees growing along the side. Let me show you our first bedroom. My favorite thing about this room is the new closets that we put in. My wife's first closet, she has a little bit more stuff. It's a small bedroom. You could almost say that it's more of a room with a bed, but it suits its purpose for us.
Our bathroom is here. It's a really nice size for a bathroom. We do have a washer and dryer, which is really nice. Let's wrap up in the bathroom here and hang a right into Evie's room.
Probably one of my favorite things about my room is the privacy that I get back here, which brings me to one of the only problems I actually have with my room, which is the Wi-Fi connection. And the walls are so thick, my internet connection is slow as a snail. As you can see, if I stand right up next to them, they're quite wide. They're wide enough to stop the earthquake of 1755, which devastated most of the city. And, well, if they could stop an earthquake, they can stop a Wi-Fi signal as well. Back to what I said before, of course, one of my favorite things about my room is the privacy. And with that being said,
We're heading now into the azulejos room in the convento. All of these are original tiles, and each of them features a different scene from the Bible. My personal favorite is this one. This is a picture of Saul being lowered out of his window in Damascus on his way to escape to Jerusalem. Now I'll take you into the other garden in the front of the building. In the evenings, my wife and I like to come out here sometimes with a couple of our neighbors, enjoy a glass of wine and enjoy the Portuguese weather and the view out onto the Tejo River. After we'd been here for a couple of years, we started looking around at some other spaces, but we just never found anything else that we wanted. We really started falling in love with just being exactly where we are. We didn't want to move.
Nowadays, I have a lot more time to really focus on keeping myself healthy and happy. I have time to go on dates. We have time to hang out with friends. We have time to explore new things that we just want to learn. We actually are celebrating not quite a month now of having attained finally Portuguese citizenship. Certainly for the foreseeable future, we are really super happy here and very, very content to stay. I know that Evie is looking around at a lot of different jurisdictions for university. Depending on where she goes, might influence where we wind up in the next couple of years. So we've got at least 2 years to really enjoy ourselves here in Lisbon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bem-vindo ao Portugal.